Hello, Dr. Bell. My name is Alan Hightower, and I'll be presenting you today my interpersonal communication project. My introduction pretty much is this project is designed to identify my overarching and the definition of enlarging the conversation with my family. My overarching goal is to make the communication between myself and my family much better for the most part. As I told you and relate to you in some of the assignments I submitted, I told you that I kind of struggle with my family and when it comes to communication due to the passing of my mother. Communicating, the act of continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning, making of the words and actions. My communication with my family was a struggle at first. The loss of my mother put us at a very, very poor situation where there was no communication at all. And I found that through this class, some of the tools that I had available to me kind of helped me to enrich that communication a little better. 6 features of communication: meaning, choice, culture, identities, conversation, and nexting. Communication research, I found that there are 3 main areas where communication research is used. It's used in creative development, pre-testing, and evaluation. Creative development, that pretty much is how can we best communicate, or how can we communicate in terms of what we say and how we say it. Pre-tested, is this communication what we have devised going to achieve the objective? And then the evaluation is does it work in the marketplace? Another thing that I found beneficial for myself when it came to communicating with my family is the talker listener card. Using the TLC card opened the doors of communication to have effective conversation when someone needs to talk things out. I agree that the TLC act like a third person for me, because every time when I was like in a place where I did not know what to say or shouldn't say nothing at all, I used that card to kind of help me navigate through communication with some of my family members. Also with the TLC card, it helped me to decide who talks first. And like I have here, either the person who's most bothered or the person who suffers from the flat brain syndrome. In the book, it described it as the flat brain. It's pretty much flat brain. Figuring out who should speak first was always a struggle for me and for my family member. So with this card, it kind of helped me to figure that out. Also, when I was dealing with my family, I didn't really know how to figure out or not say things or say things or whatever have you. But stuff like agreeing, disagreeing, advising, and defending, that was stuff that I tried my best to omit from conversation, because I've learned by going through the class, it pretty much said that stuff like this, was not really a good things to say, because it would kind of kill conversation. The 4DISC personality type, as you can see here, I have it laid out. The D stands for active / task oriented. The I is for active people oriented. The S is passive people oriented, and then the C is passive task oriented. And myself, with what people expect of me, I'm a C. But then what I see myself as is the DC. As a DC personality type, I am very task-oriented, active, and passive. I like to do a lot of things at once, but I can focus on one thing at one time. I am not a people person oriented and I become irritated at times when it comes to people and the things that they do. I feel that by discovering these traits inside my behavior blend has made me more aware of obstacles that stands in my way when it comes to communicating with my family. Some background about me, like I have here. My childhood background was very non-affectionate, so having said that, I find it hard to express myself, and not only that, but just to give out my feelings. That was kind of hard for me, so I could see where the communication was a little hard for me when it comes to communicating with my family and my feelings. Barriers between listeners and speakers. There are physical barriers and somatic barriers. Fatigue and time lagging factor with some of the physical barriers. I can see a lot of times, depending on morning, evening, or night, when I'm having a conversation with a family member, where the fatigue factor can come into place. And then the somatic barriers, like when meanings are not in words but in people. Like I could say something, and whatever words I use could be different from what my sister or brother portrayed. And a lot of times, a lot of words can get construed in that aspect. My personal boundaries, for me, that I see maybe as an obstacle that I need to overcome, is I live in another city, about almost an hour 45 minutes away from my family. So a lot of times, it's hard for me to get up and bond with them, go with them to places, do functions with my nieces and nephews. So I made it a personal dedication to try to, make more frequent trips up to my hometown where I'm from, just to spend more time with them. As well as they have children and I don't, so I need to get a little bit more invested in their kids so that we can have more things in common and we can share more experiences. And then also, majority of my family members, they married and I'm not, so I need to do what I need to do to maybe incorporate their spouses into anything that we decide to do. As the listener, you are determined whether then the message was received or if the message goes right over your head. So I gotta be more of an effective listener. The 7 fundamental listening skills: take a time to listen, teach yourself to concentrate, don't interrupt, listen to what someone's saying, not how he or she is saying it, suspend judgment, listen between the lines, and listen with your eyes. Those are very good qualities that I'm gonna try to incorporate when it comes to listening more effective with my family. My action plans for dealing with my barriers: once again, like I said, I live a ways away from them, so just get more active in going to visit them from time to time. I plan to get more involved once again with my nieces and nephews, and I plan to be more understanding of my siblings and their married life to their spouses and everything. Noise pollution. Noise pollution can be a number of things that distract a person from the main focus. Internal could be such as me thinking about what I'm going to do for the weekend, grocery shopping, things of that sort. So I'm going to make sure that I don't daydream or drift off whenever I'm talking to my siblings and stuff. And then external things could be stuff as watching TV or listening to music, or just looking at someone else off in the distance whenever the speaker's talking. So once again, I just want to focus more on the speaker versus daydreaming or being distracted. Solutions to my noise pollution: like I said, once again, just be more effective a listener. I will not multitask. Look for areas of interest in the speaker. Just try to find things that interest me that the person is speaking about, and listen for details rather than facts. My action plan, once again, to make my personal communication goals become reality: listen effectively, no multitasking, identify interesting points, listen for ideas, and don't judge the speaker. That has been my presentation. Thank you so much, and happy holidays.